This chapter will lay emphasis on the Scrum events and processes. These events are designed to reoccur every 2 weeks depending on the company. The product backlog takes form after the product owner lays out the business needs, which will later be decomposed by the developers to come up with a sprint backlog, and the sprint usually lasts for a week, or 4 weeks give or take. While the sprint is ongoing, the backlog is then refined or groomed in preparation for the upcoming sprint, or sprint review. And while all these activities are ongoing, the daily Scrum is being observed. In order to keep tabs or stay on top of every activity or event, it is advised to keep a well-organized calendar, and a good meeting invite should contain the following: meeting title, start and end time, meeting location such as Skype, Zoom, Teams, etc., invite attendees, meeting agenda, signature and attachments if needed. So now that we have addressed the big picture, it is time to simplify everything, and I will start with the sprint planning. This process takes into consideration 3 aspects. The first aspect is the input, which comprise of A. Product backlog, B. Capacity and velocity, C. Constraints, such as risks, impediments, and dependencies. The second section of the planning event answers questions such as A. What product will be produced, and B. How the product will be produced. The third aspect addresses the product output such as A. Sprint goal, and B. Sprint backlog. During this process, the product backlog emerges based on the business needs, and will later be broken down by the developers. The first step will be to allocate the resources needed to get the work done. The Scrum Master will have to figure out the number of developers and their capacity. The second step will be to outline the risks, impediments, and dependencies associated with the project, while outlining a mitigation plan. The third step will be to decompose the work, create a roadmap, and assign the work accordingly. Upon completion of this exercise, the sprint goal will then be captured in the sprint backlog.